And now we are recording for the future people, I do believe. Yes, the future people. Hello, future people. Did we make
I
it?
didn't know there'd be time travel.
It's Star Trek. There's always time travel. Maybe they can fix this episode by going back in time and just ending everything, I don't know.
They did that in second season. It didn't end out too well.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Spoilers for second season.
I wonder if I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch the second season.
There is no value in it, I don't think.
Only pain?
Probably.
Okay.
I won't pretend to know what you like, but I don't think you're going to like it.
Okay. Well, all right. So a little bit of an intro for the future people. Hi, YouTube. And where else we decide to dump this podcast shrug, interactive picture show shrug.
We do it for ourselves.
We do this for ourselves mostly. We have a good time. We're going to be. This is the Shady Rogues whatever podcast, Star Trek Picard season 3 extravaganza. I am Nick. That is Rick, my good friend and co-host. I'm just going to come out and say it. I am now hate watching the show.
Oh no.
Yes. And so is my wife, Jess. We are officially hate watching the show because of the A story. But I guess I should back up a little bit. But I do want to ask. I want to ask the question: Are you in hate watch territory yet?
Yeah, I'm more forgiving than you.
Yes.
I think you know that.
Yes, you are.
I feel like that's the case, but
yes.
Yeah. Third episode felt like it did me wrong. Yeah, like that first episode, and then the second one was like, okay, it's a little better, and now the third one has let me down. So,
okay,
can't wait to see the fourth one.
Okay. So you're on a trajectory of hate watching, but you've not met the threshold.
Is not good.
You haven't met the threshold of hate watching.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't call it hate watching yet. I am still interested in what happens.
Okay.
When I become uninterested, I will hate watch it. Like the whole Raffi plot line, I hate watch that. So
okay, all right. Yeah. Well, all right. I just want to, for the people who just stumbled onto this shit show about another shit show where people get paid a lot of money, to do a shit show. If you're looking at this beautiful picture and wondering what the hell is that, this is our little inside joke that me and Rick have developed, our collaborative theory that Picard is developed by some sort of faulty AI where it takes just Easter eggs and descriptive words from somebody who knows a little bit about Star Trek and then spits out an imperfect image. So one of the things that we do to have fun is I come up with things kind of related to each episode, and then I show them to Rick and I make him laugh and we have a good time after we get done shitting on the show usually. But the picture you see before you is what Dolly 3 thinks an evil ship looks like. So if you've been watching these episodes of season 3, you have seen the evil ship, which is named what? I forget. The Shark, the Shrek?
The Shrike.
The Shrike, which is that an actual type of bird? I don't know.
That is an Earth bird, and she seems very interested in Earth culture. So
Okay,
there
and
you go.
Earth birds, yay. Okay, so we talked about the evil ship. I got a picture of an evil ship. There will be more pictures. I might sprinkle them through the discussion to break up the Picard abuse. So
It's good to have some comic relief.
we're gonna have a little levity because I got some stuff that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna try not to sound like an asshole. That's my goal. So I'd like to start off honestly with the B story because I think the A story is definitely what caused the hate watching for both me and my wife. And that's a little different than what we normally do. So are you cool with starting with the B story?
Yeah, you would consider the B story the Raffi?
Yeah,
Or did you have something else in
Crime
mind?
Planet Raffi Adventures
Okay.
with Worf.
All right.
Okay, so I've been talking a while, so please tell me what you think about like Worf and Raffi adventures.
The interaction is fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind that too much. Like I mentioned, I've been very uninterested in everything that Raffi's doing. Not because I
Yes.
don't like Raffi, but yeah, I think like her character and the things that she's given to do are not very good. So
And in my opinion, possibly problematic. But
yeah, there's definitely something problematic there too. Worf's introduction was kind of funny.
yeah, yeah.
I am Worf, son of Bogue, slayer of Galron.
I wanted
Warden
him to
to the
follow that
dwarfs.
up with boss of you.
Yeah. Do you take sugar in your tea?
Yes, yes. I absolutely love Worf in this. Like he is my favorite thing in the show. Now, he really is. Unironic. I truly love what they've done with Worf, even though I feel like they have just made him Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy in a way, like the comic relief.
Yeah, I think probably most people like Worf. I don't know anyone who hates Worf. I've always liked Worf.
I I,
And they
I actually
go ahead.
didn't like him in Next Generation. I liked him in Deep Space Nine.
I think at first he was pretty like flat Klingon stereotype, like first
Yeah,
season maybe.
yeah,
Once Tasha left, he took on that sort of head of security role,
he got stuff to do.
and yeah, they basically gave him more time, gave him more things to do, made him more interesting. And as you get later to the seasons, he's more well rounded. He's obviously a bad father. He's a bad Klingon. Like all these other interesting things about his character. He's always been kind of like Data. They use him for levity, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's
Warrior
that's something they're doing
drink,
here too. Yeah,
stuff like
kind
that.
of a yeah, prune juice, a warrior's drink.
Yes, yeah,
I am not a merry man.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I don't think Next Generation knew that he was a bad dad, but like Deep Space Nine knew that he was a bad dad, and they did some
yeah,
really interesting stuff in Deep Space Nine. That and pairing him with Jadzia Dax. Like, I know Klingons. Klingons are fun. You're not fun. Like, I can't remember that interaction, but it was something like that. Like, some Klingons are actually fun. Yeah, so I liked
yeah.
that. They were actually
He's
good
not one of the
together.
fun ones.
Yeah, he's not one of the fun ones.
Well, Jadzia was a really good character. So
Yes, yes. This is not a discussion about Deep Space Nine, I promise.
no, no, no. Although there are some parallels, some connection.
Okay. So I really liked Worf, and I forgot to I forgot to lead with the joke. I wanted to open with a joke like, "What are you going to do for your Wednesday, Rick?" and then you would just say what or something. I'm gonna be like, well, I got some beheadings planned because apparently beheadings are on Wednesdays.
Beheadings are on Wednesdays.
That was so goddamn funny. Like, me and Jess were both cracking up, like, really. And I was just so surprised that I was actually liking the B story purely because Worf was in it. And I was honestly dreading Worf. Like, I was like, oh my God, he's just going to be a homicidal maniac.
I was worried too. Yeah, and I think they're doing okay with him. I like the new Worf. He is the thing that redeems the B plot.
Yes. Yes. He is he is competent. He is funny. He's having fun. He's making me have fun. At this point in time, I'm absolutely hating the A story, but that's for later. Yeah. Anything else about Worf? At this, like, can we move on to Raffi and get that done?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say about Worf. He's a subcontractor now. So,
Oh, I forgot about that.
He has a long and storied career. Obviously, a lot of experience. Interestingly, experience with what seems to be what the B plot's going to evolve into.
The connecting tissue, the changeling stuff, which I was actually I was happy about that. Like, I feel like it was an Easter egg that actually kind of paid off, and Worf's connection to Odo and so forth. And I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of cool that the changeling, the individual they thought to be a solid was a changeling.
Yeah, that was an unexpected twist for me. I did not think of that being a possibility as I'm watching it.
I think
it's been a long time since I've thought about changelings.
I think I called it maybe 5 minutes before they revealed.
Okay.
Because of the weird, because in the A story, somebody bumped into somebody and they had weird CG face for a moment, and I'm like, is that a changeling? And yeah, that's where I came to it from.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was in the A plot, right?
That was in the A plot.
Okay. I think I remember that.
Okay. Yeah. Not to get you off track or anything.
No. Yeah. I think it's interesting that they're actually doing something with changelings. It's the only place we've seen that is Deep Space Nine, right? I haven't seen that anywhere else.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like Deep Space Nine doesn't get the love that it deserves, and I think that's really unfortunate because in my opinion that's like the top shelf Trek, like that's the peak. And
yeah, storytelling wise, I think it's pretty good. It's kind of unique in that respect, like how good it is in telling the stories. I think interesting fact.
Go ahead.
Just a random factoid here. Voyager and Deep Space Nine are like the two Treks that have not been remastered in HD. Like, they released TNG, like with all the new HD DVDs or whatever.
Yeah.
But Deep Space Nine and Voyager, they just kind of forgot about. Even Enterprise is in HD.
I don't really like, I don't understand, like, why. Like, I'm not like some sort of like video file, like HD and whatever. I just want to watch it and so forth. So I don't know.
Yeah. That tells me about how much they care about it.
Okay.
Like, they just being like that whole enterprise surrounding Star Trek.
Okay. All right. I want to talk about Raffi. I want to talk about the Raffi in the room. is she continuing to be like more problematic? And I really, I want the future people to like help me out with this, because like I'm a white dude from Kentucky, and like I just feel like that her character is problematic, like from like a tropey stereotype kind of way. Like I feel like there's a lot of baggage, a lot of BS in how like black people have been portrayed in media. And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. I didn't realize the actress that plays her was actually on what is it? Law and Order, like Special Victims Unit, for like 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. So she's actually from a cop show, and now she's on Crime Planet, where everybody seems to be a person of color or coded that way. And it seems off. And what really jumped out at me was she was doing kind of like, I don't really know how to put it. It's like it was like she code switched when she was talking to Worf. You have Worf, who is like just his perfectly spoken, mastery of the human English language. And like she sounds like Chris Tucker from Foxy Brown for a moment. And like people like am I an asshole? Like am I seeing something that's not there? It just kind of seems like another layer of like not a good look Star Trek. Like I don't get it. Like it's just kind of like it's a decision that someone made. Like I feel like a producer was like, "Can you sound black?" Like what do you think?
Oh, I don't know what to think about that. We've talked about this before, and in season 1, I think that really kind of supports your point. Like she's living in a trailer. She's an alcoholic. She has a child that was taken away from her.
Yes,
because she's a drug addict or whatever.
She's a crack mom. I mean, where
out
are
of
the
all
parents?
The characters, out of all the characters it could have been, why is it the black person?
Because everybody else is just like, an enlightened stupor person from the 25th century. And I mean, and everybody else has been just black people existing. And now on Crime Planet, where everybody seems to be, black or a person of color. Like we got Romulans and we finally got black Romulans and they're criminals.
Yeah, how is this a problem in the 24th and 25th century? Like they have synthahol, for example.
Yeah.
It surprises me that this is still a thing, and it just had to be the black person.
Yeah. And oh God. Okay. So future people, please educate us. I'm sorry.
I would like to hear the justification. Yes.
Okay. And also,
and I know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I know that sometimes it's just a coincidence, but it's not just Star Trek. Like you see this in other things too, and after a while, it's not a coincidence anymore. It's kind of a pattern, right?
It's a stereotype. It's a trope. It's a reflection of the shit in our culture being like filtered through, whoever is coming up with this.
Star Trek should be so beyond this kind of thing.
And I mean, it's not. I mean, you had like that one episode from the first season of TNG where they go to planet Africa and the depiction of the Ferengi as basically an anti-Semitic trope. I mean, to the point where the guy who played Quark was like, I got to clean this mess up in Deep Space Nine. I think he kind of felt bad about it. Like they were cognizant of, we need to do better with the Ferengi now because this is not good. This is not a good look.
Yeah, there was drug addiction in TNG too. There was the game thing, which I guess could be considered some sort of addiction at least. There was
But that
another episode too that I remember with I can't remember the name of it. It had like the Breckians, two different planets.
that
So
was a good
one of
episode, I
the
thought. Yeah.
yeah, I remember liking that episode. It's like symbiosis or something.
Yeah, and that was I I'd have to rewatch that, but I thought that was kind of like I don't know. I think it was maybe trying to say something about like kind of like an imperial, like, I don't know, kind of pushing a people into being subservient through a drug and keeping them under thumb, kind of like maybe like a big business or like maybe some stuff from history, like the Opium Wars with that. Yeah. I don't know the history, but I know there was some bad stuff with like opium in China back in the day.
Yeah. I remember Dr. Crusher was treating one of the, I think, was it the Ornarans or the Breckians?
The ones that were hooked on whatever space drug.
The ones that were hooked on the stuff, right? So, and there wasn't really any sort of discussion about a cure or anything. But she noticed the symptoms, which makes me actually think that maybe they don't have a cure for addiction. I thought about that episode. I'm like, when have we seen examples of addiction and like a solution to it?
Yeah. I mean, maybe if I went back and watched it, maybe that episode would kind of read more like drugs are bad, say no to drugs, kind of. Yeah. Because it's my understanding that the episode that when I watched it before, the one where Riker falls for the non-binary race of people, that was more like a stand for LGBTQ rights, and it's my understanding that it kind of comes off as more conforming to some people in that community. And then they did it better in Deep Space Nine. But we are tangenting from a tangent to a tangent.
Definitely off tangent. Yeah,
we are spiraling into other parts of the galaxy right now. Okay,
no harm in that, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're having fun. Okay. Anything else on the B story before we go to
A? So, yeah, I was happy to see the changelings come back.
Yes,
that's pretty cool. I like Worf a lot.
Yes.
Still not a big fan of Raffi. Seems like what they're going to go do is probably pivotal to the whole season. So
okay.
That they're going to the Daystrom Institute to check out something that was stolen that wasn't the portal tech, if I remember that correctly. So it's not just the portal tech, but something else was taken.
An even bigger
they don't know
portal.
yet, right?
I bet it's a bomb. It'll be a bomb that destroys the galaxy. Something stupid.
This is something that's like not in alignment with the Trek that I grew up with.
Okay.
But the stakes are really high.
They're like intergalactic.
It's like it's going to end the Federation. It's going to blow up all your planets or whatever, and that's maybe movie Trek, and I guess new Trek, right? But it's not the Trek I grew up with, and I'll always complain about that. I like the smaller stories. Not every season needs like the first season. Spoilers of Picard was the insane like robot race that was coming out of a portal at the end.
Oh,
you don't hear anything about that ever again.
Cthulhu 5000. Yeah.
Right. So we have that, which that looked really bad. That looked Federation ending. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And the second one, we have just some random like energy beam that's going to wipe out the quadrant again. Like the stakes are just unnecessarily high for Star Trek, and it just burns you out. Like I don't want to keep it. It's like Marvel movies.
It is.
Some people complain about Marvel movies. I give allowance to Marvel movies because they're comic books and superheroes and all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah. And they're pretty well done, honestly.
For the most part, they have a formula, but for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, for that, I think comic books, and I can suspend my disbelief. I can enjoy the incredibly high stakes of the multiverse or whatever is at stake at that point. But in Star Trek, that doesn't meet my expectations. It becomes a little ridiculous, and I don't want to keep watching the universe in danger every season of Picard.
Yeah, can't we just admit a new people to the Federation? Like, and now that I say this, I feel like that's what this should be. Like, it should be Ambassador Picard just working with like the android people on the android planet and admitting them to the Federation and trying to like reconcile the stuff from the first season.
Yeah,
I
he'd be
mean,
a great ambassador because he's an android now.
yeah. Oh God. If we've got Star-Lord and we've got like Drax, is he Groot because he died and came back, a little different? Like, just he came back wrong.
Well, I remember Riker said he's still the same man, so I'll take that.
Okay, all right. Are we ready for that A story? Aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate what they're doing with Picard. I fucking hate it. And I got really mad at this episode. Really, really mad. Because everything in a show is a decision, from the accent to the lighting to who's playing who. And I don't know what the fuck they're trying to say, because you have different people playing like, okay, I am just kind of confused and I don't know what it's trying to say. I don't know what it's trying to convey, because they've got Picard having moments of clarity and agreeing with me last week. Oh my God, I need to go apologize to Captain Shaw, and we should not have come here. And oh my God, I've made a horrible error. And I'm like, holy shit, he listened to us last week. Like he's about to high five me on the way to the bridge. And
Patrick Stewart, are you there?
Face palm. But and I don't know if it's due to he's actually a changeling. Like, is there some sort of like rug pull and he's a the one on the bridge is actually a changeling causing, fuckery, or is something wrong with him? Do we need to take away Grandpa's car keys? And
positronic brain is malfunctioning.
Something, or and I didn't know this. We're watching this, and Jess is just like, how old is he supposed to be? Do you know how old Picard is supposed to be in this?
I should know this. I want to say he's 97.
Yes, he is. Patrick Stewart is 82, playing a 97-year-old man.
It is the future,
but
they age well.
But that might be the case. But I don't care what century it is. I was still nervous watching him go bleep bloop on the console when he was blowing up the photon torpedo. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I've been in the same car with a 75-year-old man. I'm like, no, don't do this. There's 500 people on this ship. There's 500 people on this ship. Like, don't do this. Like, my disbelief is not working at this point.
Hey, the explanation, of course, is that he's an android now. So,
well, why is he not more logical? I mean, why is he shouting? Why is he oozing toxic masculinity at Riker and his weakness of a dead son? Like,
he has a moment of like kind of
Madness?
coming to, well, no, he actually has a good moment of like, oh, well, I owe this, I owe the captain an apology. And, like you mentioned, it's not all bad, but
It's not
then
all bad.
I mean, yeah, once he gets on that bridge and they start getting into that fight and stuff, like
At the very end.
he's not Picard.
And I don't
He's
do you think he's was a changeling at that point? Is this a fuckery or what?
I mean, that would be an interesting twist, but what I saw, like I mean, they would just be messing with you at that point. I think.
Yeah.
I really do believe it's Picard.
Either way is bad, but still, please continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It bothers me that him and Riker are at odds. It didn't make a lot of sense. Like toward the end, like Riker's like, "Get off my bridge," and like he blamed him for what happened. And I don't know how you feel about it, but
Who blamed
Riker
who?
signed off on it.
Like back up just to make sure we're clear on who you're saying blamed who. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Picard is pushing Riker into taking the offense.
Yes.
And Riker does it. And then after they do it, they get shot in the ass with like 4 torpedoes, right?
Through portal tech.
Right, through the portal tech.
Which
we'll
I thought was I
moment.
thought that was cool, honestly, but still.
It's cool. I have other thoughts on that.
Not as cool to you, but go ahead.
Yeah, but at the end, it's like Riker tells Picard, like, it's your fault. Get off my bridge, and I just don't buy it. It's like Riker is the captain. He's making the decisions. He doesn't have to listen to Picard.
No,
it is very uncaptain-like in Star Trek to blame Picard, and then they have their friendship and all those things. It just rings false. Like. I don't believe the drama that's happening. It's there to create some sort of drama, but I don't like it and I don't believe it.
I don't like it, and it really, to me, I don't know if they're trying to say Picard is succumbing to some kind of senility, cognitive functioning lessening with age or due to positronic fuckery or what. Like, I don't know what they're trying to say about him, because this is a big change. This is a big change even for movie Picard. I mean, he's pretty bloodthirsty, and that part where he's like, you're letting your loss of your son like make you weak. Like that is
wow.
That is really bad. Like, I'm a parent. I mean, yeah. So that's really fucking bad. That's bad.
Well, Picard's a parent now too.
Oh yeah, at 97. Yeah, everything's different now. I don't think that
97-year-old dad.
Yes. Oh God. But with who's captaining the ship, before I forget, Shaw was right again. And
he always is.
He's right. He might be an asshole, but he's usually right. And I actually really liked when he takes the tumble and he gets up and he's basically like, I cannot function as a captain because I have a bone sticking out of me. I have to leave. Here are the goddamn keys. He throws them to Riker, gives him a middle finger, and then people help him off. And I like that. And if ever there was a time in New Trek to say, fuck both of you, they missed it. Honestly, where it was earned. Like, we're all going to die, fuck both of you.
Yeah. I didn't like that handoff that much.
Okay.
It felt weird to me.
Okay.
Go ahead. I appreciate the sentiment. Like, I liked it. I liked the sentiment of it. But the actual handoff, like, real people doing real things that make sense to me, I had trouble kind of reconciling that in my mind. I'm like, he wouldn't really do that, would he?
Like, do you think, like how so? I don't want to nitpick your criticism.
Well, I haven't thought this through, but I was thinking like, well, normally command would go to the first officer, but there was this situation with Seven being locked in her quarters, right?
She
So
was in timeout.
maybe, yeah, so maybe that makes more sense. Third in command is the counselor, right? That's TNG president. I don't know that we've met the counselor, but
There might be the
yeah,
doctor. Honestly, I don't know.
yeah, maybe in the absence of like a functioning first officer, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
He totally deserved it, and I think it was the right thing to do. But still, I didn't really buy it.
Okay.
Felt
Fair
wrong to
enough.
me.
Okay, we can agree to disagree. I respectfully disagree because I actually I did like it because it was so the show is the show understands where I'm coming from. It just chooses to do dumb shit. Like that's how I took it. Like when it kind of validates that, like, oh, Picard is acting crazy, and a character is basically voicing my concern. So I liked it. All right, what? Okay,
Mm.
we didn't talk. We haven't talked about Beverly's talk with Picard.
That's another thing that I had trouble buying, and I think this is kind of a theme in this episode, especially this part of the like the A story.
Yeah.
Is just buying things. Like I don't feel like people make sense,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
like Crusher goes into an explanation of like why she decided to hide Jack from Jean Luc, and I disagree. I don't think she was really justified. I think it was a weird decision for a 24th, 25th century person to make.
I agree.
They do some other explainers though. I felt like this episode was to explain things. She mentioned that maybe the British accent is genetic, but this was kind of a joke. That he
Well,
went to school in London.
okay. All right.
Yeah. I remember she explained the trust no one thing too. Like they had some discussion about that. I just I don't buy the reasoning behind keeping Jack a secret, and I think it's like morally speaking, like Star Trek is. I won't say they always do, but like they try to stick to the moral high ground. That's what any good captain should do.
Yeah.
It's kind of especially in TNG philosophy, it's you see a lot of that sort of like do the right thing, and I cannot see that as the right thing.
Yeah.
Hiding Jack's existence.
Okay. And on that, on specifically like her decision making, I got two things that I want to say. Like when she went on her role of this is why I did this, it really made me think of Mary Jane laying into Spider-Man on we can't have a kid because somebody's always trying to kill you, or like somebody talking to like Batman, or I don't know if I can have a kid with you, Clark Kent, because someone's always trying to kill you. And it just kind of I feel like it overinflated Picard's like everybody hates him, or everybody is at odds with him, or like his job is way more dangerous. Like, and that kind of makes him, I mean, it is Star Trek Picard, but like, why did we get to this point? Like, was it because of Patrick Stewart being like a big star because of the X-Men movies at this point, and like we have to have the entire show spin on him as an axis? Or is it because of like the Picard memes that like are all over the internet? Like I feel like that maybe inflated him to the point of like a fucking superhero. Like, what do you think?
I think that this shouldn't have to be a discussion because I completely don't buy that they had a kid.
Okay. All right. Now, why is that? I want to talk about menopause in the 25th century.
I so menopause. I totally would believe that is can be delayed or worked around or whatever in the 24th century. I have no problems believing that.
Well, I mean,
What I do
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
what I do have a problem with is there aren't any penis force fields. You know, like
I want that
how
on a
about a
t-shirt.
prophylactic?
I want that on a t-shirt.
Isn't there like a plan B or something? Like,
Anything. I mean,
why didn't they think about this?
yeah. Like, why didn't these two functioning adults do some fucking family planning? I mean, see last week's discussion. Like, see episode 2 discussion between Rick and Nick.
She's a doctor,
And she's a doctor.
so she knows about these things.
Yeah, she knows things.
And I would also say that 9 months prior to her making those decisions, things probably hadn't changed that much. Like, hopefully, she knew what she was getting into.
You would think,
right? I mean, yeah, right.
I mean,
so
when she got pregnant, according to whatever we looked up while we were bitching about this, me and my wife, according to the wiki, Dr. Crusher was 56 when she got pregnant with Jack. So that is well into past human menopause. In order to get pregnant, she would have had to have gotten pregnant on purpose. And that makes her look like an asshole. Am I right?
I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't. I feel like Picard season 1, 2, 3 have all been an effort to basically tarnish and ruin Picard, which I'm really sad campaign. But Picard is such a great, fantastic, just one of the best Star Trek captains, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows Picard. He's known for being very structured and making good decisions, and it completely does not add up to me, and I don't buy that entire storyline. I wish that wasn't in there, that they chose a different route to get to where they are.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary.
Okay. While we're talking about ages and when and how, and the actor that plays Jack, in real life, he is 34, and he is apparently playing a character who is 23. And I think that's really weird. And I think it's a fuck up on their part, because 23 puts him at the end of Nemesis, kinda, if you fudge the numbers, but kind of. But if you go by how old he actually is, that puts him season 2 of Star Trek Next Generation. And I think that validates what I thought originally, that she had to go take a job off the ship because she had to go have a baby.
Yeah.
And I think maybe even that was in a script rough draft, and then they nixed it because it made her look even worse, honestly.
Are you suggesting a plausible explanation for Pulaski?
Yes, like a retcon to explain why Crusher wasn't in season 2. Yeah, I think
it's hard to imagine, though, that she's serving on the Enterprise for the remaining. That was it second or third season when Pulaski was there, but it was years after season. That.
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 years later, not being with her baby seems surprising to me.
Well, I mean, we talked about this.
I don't know how she would hide it.
Yeah, I mean, and that was kind of like my speculation last week, and I found it curious, and it can just be complete coincidence that the actor who is playing Jack is 34, and that puts it at 88. So yeah, 1988,
yeah.
right there at season 2. I'm just saying,
That's kind of funny.
yeah, I like the validation.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I like, in the writers' room, I assume, they're aware of the Easter eggs in their limited capacity. So I was wondering, like, if that was, what was going on.
Yeah. I guess there's not a lot of British actors in their early 20s that they could pull from. So,
It's all the British actors. That's their prime export is acting.
Oh, what did you think about the flashback?
Oh God, thank you. Okay, I would have forgotten that. The flashback. Both me and Jess did not like that because it's like, well, first off, Deanna Troi, I don't know what accent she had.
Irish.
All the accents.
I've never heard her sound so Irish.
I've never heard her sound so confused in her accent. Like apparently, oh God, what is the actress's name? I'm completely blanking. Who plays Deanna?
Marina Sirtis.
Marina Sirtis. Yeah, I think she lost the accent and it was just all over the place. But me, like Jess, did not like put upon mom, like just totally, puking hair. Come get this kid.
Yeah,
and then you
doesn't make sense for the time period.
Yeah, you would think that these enlightened whoever's would have, I don't know, some socialized childcare or something, so she can get
vomit
a break.
Force fields.
Vomit
Come
force
to me
fields.
for future inventions.
Yes, just force fields for everything. And it made, as a dad, I think it's not great. It's not a good look to have like Riker kind of smirking, like hee, I'm off with the boys at the bar. Like I don't, I just kind of not a great look. And also the de-aging I thought looked like ass.
Yeah, the de-aging bothered me. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. Right?
It would have been,
I don't know
like,
what the years are for that, but
15, 20 years. I don't know how old the kid is. And also we've got some time jumping. Yeah,
give Riker a brown beard, put a little extra makeup on Jean-Luc, and I don't think that was really necessary. It was really noticeable, and it kind of took away from that scene.
Okay, yeah.
They also put Picard in a leather jacket, I think, to make him look young and cool, but he still looks 91. So
yeah. I mean,
97.
He looks like a 97-year-old Robo Golem or whatever he is. Golem.
Yeah.
God. All right. What else?
Yeah, that scene existed, I think, just to establish that Picard is yearning for a child.
I have a problem
because I remember
with
that scene closing out. Yeah. What is the problem?
Okay, my problem is, and this goes back to something that I bitched about in like our first recorded discussion. It's like, where is the like vision, the kind of like the future of what is this show trying to say? And like, I think of Star Trek as like this multicultural, multiracial, multi-special, whatever. I don't even know how to say that because we don't have like.
I think that's good. I understand.
You get it. Internet, you get it.
Yeah.
Vision of the future. We're all getting along. We're all trying to fix problems with science and diplomacy, and we're building towards something. We've already fixed a lot of problems because we almost blew ourselves up, and now we're doing better. Whatever, and I feel like that gives an opportunity to show how society may change, and I think it's maybe to pat the show a little bit on the back as I smack it, that, someone well into their 60s can have a kid and they can still have a family, and that's okay. But also I think they should show, hey, you have somebody in their 80s or whatever, and they didn't have a kid because they didn't feel comfortable to have a kid. They didn't want to have a kid. Maybe they also never got married. That's fine. People in the real world don't have kids, and that's fine. That's a valid choice. It doesn't mean they're freaks. It doesn't mean that, they're horrible people. It doesn't mean they're selfish. It's just a choice they made. Some people don't get married. It's the choice they made. I feel like they're kind of taking away, they're invalidating Picard's life choices. And it's like, oh, I've always yearned for a heteronormative family that's all British. Yeah, I mean, it
says the man who hates kids.
Yeah, and I feel like, again, that's a little bit of a bad look, particularly in this day and age. It's like not all families look the same. And also, I think it also undercuts kind of what they had near the end of Next Generation, where the bridge crew were kind of a found family. And that the way they depicted them in the future was even more so. Like they were still kind of close. When they go on their, the future adventure. I can't remember what the last episode of Star Trek was. The one with he's shifting from the past to the present to the future. They're worried about what is it?
All Good Things.
All Good Things. Thank you. I could not think of it.
Yeah.
I'm a bad Trekkie, but
I'll forgive you.
Thank you. The internet won't. But like they're
probably not.
Probably not. But they're concerned about his health. He has the whatever syndrome, and they do things with looks where the show that we're watching does it with like shouting and not really addressing it. And everybody's older and they're behaving less like adults. Like I feel like there was a scene between like they go to Picard's chateau and you got Geordi and Data and they show up like, almost kind of like surrogate children to Picard. And they're looking after him like a found family. And I feel like I'm sounding like Vin Diesel now, like it's about family. But there was something that I feel like that came across, by the end of Star Trek, and definitely with that episode. And now we have I always wanted to just impregnate a woman the old-fashioned way, because reasons. Because why not? Because I'm French. So
most British Frenchman ever.
Yeah, and honestly, I got to thinking about this while I was writing up my notes. That it's like, if they wanted to give Picard a son, where the fuck is Wesley Crusher? He was kind of the stand-in in the show, kind of. I mean, I think that would have been, if you want to tie Beverly and Picard back together, bring on Will Wheaton. As much as it pains me.
If you've seen his performance in season, wait, I'm all confused.
2. He was in 2.
You saw him in.
I didn't see it.
Season. Wait, was it? Man, I am so confused. Yeah, season 2. Yeah, he's just not a good actor. Sorry, but in his performance in the Ready Room, it's so cringe.
I would think that maybe Will Wheaton could just not act and actually convey some just whatever emotional attachment that he has to Patrick Stewart.
That's the problem. To be an actor, you have to convey your emotions.
Okay. Okay. All right. But I mean, let's just, on paper, using that character would be a better idea. Just in the realm of ideas, in practice, it falls apart. but at least it would be, they would be using the characters that they had. Like, I know that, you know, Wesley Crusher is problematic, you know, for people who like Trek.
Yeah.
Will Wheaton is a problem for people who like Trek and Dungeons and Dragons Online. That's an Easter egg.
Oh, yeah, that is an Easter egg.
But
don't remind me of those games.
Yes. So it's like, hey, I think it's this kind of unintentional thing where they're like, blood is thicker than your found family. And I don't like that because, yeah, I don't like that. And, you know, why the fuck can't Picard just retire? I mean, does he have to, you know, is this like some sort of work requirement to get his Starfleet healthcare? I mean, what is it?
He kind of tried, right? But then the whole Dodge thing happened.
Oh,
and he just pulled himself out of retirement.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I don't want to remember that.
Okay,
forget about that storyline.
Yeah. That's first season. I've blanked a lot of that out. The incest twins and so forth. All right, is there?
Yeah.
Okay, I got two more. I got two more like beefs. I had a problem. These are this is. I don't think this is nitpick, but I'm going to say it anyway. Hi, I'm Will Riker. My son died. How are you? Nice to meet you. Like, people who lose kids and have like that traumatic of a trauma do not open with that. And that oh God, are humans writing this show? Purpose.
I actually don't not buy that. Given the context that he's basically Jack is complaining about his dad.
Yeah.
Right, in that scene. And you know, they like I kind of get it, I think.
I mean, I think it serves a function in the show. Like, I feel like on paper that probably looked better than when it was actually performed. Because to me, it was like, people don't talk like this. Like, they don't open up with, I lost my infant son. I know within context, it kind of, you know, gave him something to reach out to Jack with. Yeah,
that's kind of how I justify it.
Okay,
is just the context of that conversation. It was a way of him saying that he knows, like that relationship. I can't even articulate it.
Okay.
But in my mind, it doesn't not make sense to me.
Okay. All right. I think you're fixing it in your head. Like I fixed Riker injecting Beverly with a stimulant, where I thought that he was drawing blood to determine who was the daddy of the grown ass man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the needs of the many.
Here, caffeine, drink this. You getting up, woman. Not a good look, Star Trek. Okay, all right. We haven't really talked about Jack and what he was doing, or 7 of 9. Like Jess pointed out, like, did these characters even talk to each other? And he just immediately went to go get her when she was under like house arrest. And it's like they're all of a sudden like BFF, let's go on adventures.
So the reason for that, at least what I got from the show, is that she used to be a Fenris Ranger.
That's right.
I have no idea how he knows that.
How does he? Because he's got the script.
Yeah, it's so there's an element of disbelief there, I think.
Okay. And I have a problem with we solve our problems by punching instead of talking. Like, I just want to
cowboy diplomacy.
It's like use your words, Jack. Use your words.
Well, he's hot-headed Picard from before the Nausicaan, so
He needs to get into Domjot.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I have pictures.
Ulan played Domjot.
I have pictures. Have we done all of our bitching and moaning? We've done all our homework, and now it's treats.
Well, how about this? Is
Okay,
there
go.
anything good to say about the A plot?
Shaw
Did
was
you
right.
like any of it?
I liked Shaw.
Shaw's
Okay,
right.
I liked Shaw because Shaw is right. I know that we're at a 50% disagreement on the him throwing the keys to Riker. Okay, I liked the portal tech stuff.
The portal, yeah.
Okay, why don't
it seems,
what's your deal?
So for me, it seems just overcomplicated and clumsy.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
I get that.
It's just like
Silly,
you got ships
even
moving around. Yeah, it's such a like just complicated way to achieve something. Like, oh, I'm gonna throw a portal exactly here, and then they're gonna have to go through it, and then they're like, it just wow, like the math that's involved to make that work. Just fire your freaky crazy weapons that destroy everything. If you want to, do that. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
And to compare it to the MCU, the bad ship has Doctor Strange abilities.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like Doctor Strange
just
or
like
Wong.
that. Yeah. So I appreciate the unique approach. It's novel. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, it is different.
It's definitely cool.
Yeah,
I like that it's cool, and I can enjoy things that are cool. But just in a practical sense of just spaceship battles, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me visually, at least.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It takes a really long time to get to warp, apparently, because they were turning for like 10 seconds. Like, we're gonna steer the ship around.
Well, they were in a plot nebula. It's an. It was like a living nebula or like something.
Yeah,
like it was like
I guess we'll find out more, right?
I guess.
I don't know what a living nebula is. There's a gravity well in the center.
That came out of nowhere. Like, did that literally come out of nowhere? Like, I'm like, where are we in space? Period. Let alone like in this, super nebula, living nebula, whatever the fuck. I have no idea.
Well, it should be near the Rhyton system, right? That's where they were.
Dude, I don't know.
I don't know anything about it though.
I don't know.
I could put a name to it, but I can't tell you where in like space and time it is.
Okay. Is there anything else about this episode, or is it picture time?
We could probably talk for a few hours, but yeah, let's do the pictures.
Okay, let's do fun stuff. All right, palate cleanse. If you have not watched this whatever it is before, I use Dolly to plug in the stuff. Kind of a running gag from last week. We joked about how all of the returning characters from TNG get to kill somebody with something. Riker got to blow up some baddies with a grenade. Worf got to chop some people up. The very first episode, Dr. Beverly Spinecrusher used a pump action space shotgun to take out some Death Eaters or whatever. And
I wish he shot me with it.
Yeah, shot you right in your brain meat. And
I would have to do the rest of these episodes with you.
And I joked that Geordi, who is like a librarian or an art museum, he's head of the, Starfleet Museum, was going to kill a Borg drone with like a book or a painting or something. And you all should check out the episode 2 for just some of those pictures. They were pretty neat. So in keeping with that, I said, I wonder what it would look like if Counselor Deanna Troy. Deanna? Does it really matter?
Deanna, I think.
Deanna.
It probably doesn't matter, no.
Like data. Well, one is my name.
He did clarify that.
He did clarify. I appreciate that. Very tactful. Okay.
Pulaski.
I tried to come up with Deanna Troy uses baby to puke acid on an I can't remember, on an alien. Like, I just kind of picked like a Klingon or a Ferengi.
Oh my goodness.
So I
like how it got the eyes looking actually like eyes. A lot of times it'll mess up the eyes really badly.
Yeah, but Deanna is definitely sleep deprived. And I've got a couple more, and the other ones, no, I don't think either one of them are puking. Neither of them are puking. All three of them, no puking. And I wonder if this is like a psychic bolt. Like, is it getting into like Patrick Stewart as Professor X or what? Or I don't know if it thought using baby as phaser, or I don't know if Dolly thinks we puke through our forehead. I don't know.
What does it really know? What does it have in its hand?
I don't know. It looks like
it looks dangerous.
It looks like a worm or something. Yeah. But Counselor Troy, she's got like stars in her hair, or puke, and her eyes are kind of crossed. Yeah. Okay. So these are in no particular order. They're all weird. These are weird. And here we go. Crap. I feel like all right, this one. This one made me think of like, well, let's see what you think. What do you think of this one? Like,
that looks like a lightsaber to me.
yeah, that lightsaber, and maybe he's reaching out and using the Force.
Yeah, doesn't quite have his hands on it. His face, I feel like I should know his face. There's something familiar about it.
And she looks kind of familiar too. Like, she doesn't look like Counselor Troy, but it does look like she has like the red command shirt uniform on, and she had the same color uniform on the previous one also. So the next one, go ahead.
That's a weird decision to make too, because she's not a captain, or she hadn't been.
Yeah, but she did have like a command shirt when Jellicoe made her change her shirt. Now this one is a little bit not nice. This one's not nice.
Wow.
Like, I wonder if this is mirror universe.
Those look like drugs.
This is mirror universe Counselor Troy, and she's melting a baby that's the best phaser. That is the best phaser that I have seen out of Dolly.
Yeah. I've tried to make phasers, and they just never look like what I expect. That's actually pretty good. Kind of a retro look to it.
And I didn't ask it to do a phaser. She's
administering eye drugs.
The eye drugs, yeah. Maybe the baby has pink eye. Okay, so maybe the baby has pink eye. Okay, so I've got two more sets of pictures. So I was thinking, in honor of my favorite character of this episode, Worf, and his comedy, I thought, well, what if Worf was actually just a stand-up comedian? And
that's a good one.
Yeah, so
good concept.
I've got a couple, and I think they're all good. What I told it to do, I told it I want Worf as a stand-up comedian by a guillotine, and I want a sign on the guillotine that said like Wednesday special or something like that. So, and me and Jess tried to look up, is this like, did they put it in Klingon? Because I said Worf the Klingon, and this is not Wednesday night guillotine special in Klingon. So I don't know. So
I love the text. It's vaguely English.
yeah. And I don't know what's on the like left side. Like I don't know.
Widnoy. Clearly it says Widnoy.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like he could be doing stand up. Maybe he's at a mega church.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's giving the commencement speech. Maybe he's getting like an honorary doctorate or something. Looks like he's kind of got a robe on. All right.
Yeah.
But I think these turned out the best, the Worf ones. And here we go. I think this is the best one. This is like Worf's comedy album cover. Worf's comedy album cover, like, you know, animated, yes, like
the Wepgill Sif rant. Wepgill Sif rant. Spokeshim. Kapla.
And finally, if you ever wanted to know what Worf would look like if he was the pastor of a megachurch. He's bringing the word of Kales to the unwashed masses of Earth. Some old time religion.
It's funny how unable Dolly is to make like something that's shaped like a Klingon, like with the forehead ridges, and
can't do it.
I don't know. It just can't, right?
Can't do it. Okay, but we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it because I was mad at Picard. And
season 4 or episode 4 is going to be better.
It is. Is it
I
now?
No idea. That's what I hope.
Okay. We'll all right. You know, hope for the best, expect the worst.
Yeah. I want the best. I want it to give me something that I love and I can feel closure, and I don't think I'm going to get that.
So I got three pictures of my avatar, or a shady rogue. I did a shady goblin rogue in a fist fight with Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, no.
And I've got 3 of them, and this is the first. This is the least, and it kind of looks like just an elf fighting.
It's not a goblin.
Yeah, that's not a goblin. The other 2 look
Lex Luthor. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, these didn't turn out as well. Comedian Worf definitely turned out better, but I got 2 more. I think maybe this is the one I like the most, but it's still not really a goblin. But Picard, I think, turned out the best. But it looks like he's going for a low blow.
Yeah, that's the best looking Picard that I've seen.
And that's from the back of his head.
Yeah, granted, that's cheating a little bit, but it looks pretty good from this angle.
Yeah. I feel like this is my Shady Rogue avatar through a like original series filter.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got the Kirk shirt. Yeah.
Original series makeup too. Still, obviously a human being, but they glued on some ears.
They
And
just put some
colored the
ears on
hair.
him. That's it. Now this one, all right, last picture. This one at least looks more like a goblin, but now that I see it a little more up close, it does kind of look like Piccolo versus Picard.
Oh yeah,
so
that's funny.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, this has been fun. We're going to say bye to the future people. Do you have anything else to say, Rick, or are you ready to say bye to the future people?
I'm ready to say bye.
Okay. All right.
Goodbye, future people.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging us in our weird art project. There will be more. Bye-bye.